The Good Deed, in which Tom Kenny does more than one character. Yeah, you can notice Tom Kenny doing a lot of character voices in this show, and one of them is, of course, one of the first characters that Wander and Sylvia meet up. So, the story of this episode, Wander and Sylvia are, of course, wandering about a planet, and they help out people like they always do, but then they notice that when they began helping people in this episode, each time they help someone, it affects someone else, and go again and again and again. And also, it shows that there are certain times in which you don't have to do a good deed because it might affect something else, or just plain old simple, just don't do it. Um, it's sort of like an odd thing for an episode, like, hey, yes, certain deeds you do does affect someone else, but in this one it's like directly affecting someone else. Like, for example, okay, when you start the episode, they see a little rabbit, which is basically dying of hunger, and they see a carrot. They take the carrot, they feed the rabbit, and the rabbit's happy. But then you see that the Tom Kenny bird looking thing, can't ride his elephant-looking alien because he doesn't have the carrot, and he's gonna be late for a wedding, and he says that his wedding, and so they help him out by taking him to the wedding. It seems that it isn't his wedding; it's someone else's, along with someone he loves. He declares his love for the woman, and the woman cancels the wedding with this other person, which was a sort of wedding to end the feud between two families, but it doesn't work out. And Wander ends the dispute by pretending to be both the prosecutor, the defense, and the judge, even the policeman, and the woman who types always in the court sessions or whatever. He ends that dispute, but then the two families are really happy. They start shooting like Texans. I'm sorry if I offend any Texans, but it's like the cliche. They start shooting at the sky, and sort of the sparks land on this nearby mini village with these bird-looking creatures. They are set on fire. Wander shoots at a nearby ice mountain. The ice melts. It turns the fire out, and then this big creature appears from the ice and starts to destroy this little town with a lot of pigs, which are voiced by Fred Rescuer, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, please. He's an awesome voice actor. I saw him in the Wander over Yonder panel in Comic-Con. They save the pigs from the creature who is destroying happily the place, the buildings. They take the pigs to this nearby mud planet, and the pigs are really, really happy, and they declare the planet as theirs, but the mud pushes something that makes this whole elaborate thing in which it throws something into space, and it starts moving like planets and stars and whatever, and it interrupts one of the psychic readings that Lord Hater is having with this gypsy woman. Well, it's a sort of gypsy woman, voiced by April Winchell, which is awesome. And one of the funniest lines in this episode is, of course, in that scene. You have to watch it to see it, to understand. Of course, Hater's upset by his psychic reading, and declares Peepers to obliterate the sun. That was the reason that after it moved a bit, it disrupted the whole psychic reading. And that's when Wander sees that, hey, maybe we shouldn't stop that missile that Lord Hater shot to the sun. That's when you see a bit of like a weird character detail with Wander. Yes, he's always positive. He always wants to do good. He wants to do good deeds. But with this, after having so much anxiety of trying to do many things right to help out people, after doing a good deed, something bad happens. I'm sorry for the noise. After something good happens, bad things follow. And so he is so distraught by this. And Sylvia's like, hey, whatever, we can stop this, we can do this, come on. And Wanda just stays there in the mud. lets himself like sink into the mud and even says that, hey, what if something worse and worse happens? What if something worse and worse happens as this goes on? And Sylvia's like, hey, if whatever we do does cause the destruction of this galaxy, well, that's not a galaxy I want to be in. That's really not a galaxy that I want to be in without you, you know, my best friend. And that manages to help Wander get out of his slump. And so they stop the missile, and somehow the missile gets turned, like, it turns back to the ship and blows the shit up, and it's amazing. It's really cute, the little banter between Wander and Sylvia. Well, not banter, it's just this little speech about doing the right thing in the right place. And it's really, really cute. I really love seeing them just interacting. You of course see Hater's ship get blown up, and they even ask Wander and Sylvia for help because they just passed by, but I really wonder why Lord Hater and Peepers are not suffocating in space. Because in a future episode you see Peepers suffocating in space, which I really don't understand why in this one they are not. Kids show, you can't show that kind of stuff to kids. And Wander and Sylvia are like, and nope. And they don't do it. The animatic for this episode is, of course, different viewpoints of how Lord Hater's ship is blowing up, and it's amazing. It's like the perfect thing. I always watch it over and over again whenever I see this episode, and it always gets me every time. Like, you see close-up shots, you see far-away shots, and we just see like a little clink of explosion, and that's amazing. So these are the episodes for today, These are the episodes for today, and I hope you like watching them. We're gonna follow up with the next few episodes tomorrow. See ya.